let's solve the distance between the 2 points given here. But we could see that the pair of points A and B as well as C and D do not share the same x coordinate nor y coordinate. So in short, we will not be using the same process we did in the previous video. Here we are going to use the distance formula. The distance formula between 2 points, let's say P1 and P2, the distance represented by the segment connecting them using the distance formula is equal to this process, the square root of the sum of these squares, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. You try to square it, then you add, you have y sub 2 minus y sub 1, and then you square it. Let's start with A and B. So we have A, B, the distance. By the way, in our formula, it doesn't matter which is the second point or the first point, because regardless of you consider A as the first point or the second point, and you'll have the same result as you are taking their difference and squaring it. So you'll have here the square root. Let's say B is our second point and A is our first point. Okay, so your x sub 2 is the x coordinate of the B, which is negative 2, and then you have minus x sub 1, which is the x coordinate of A, 1. You take the square of it, plus, and then you have the other one, 7, that's y sub 2, and then you have minus 3, and then you square it. This means that you have this result here. You have negative 3, and then you square that, plus you have here 4, 7 minus a 3, and you square that. You have here the square root of 9 plus 16. You will have the square root of 25. In short, the distance between points A and B is given as the square root of 25, which is positive 5 units. Similarly, if we're solving for C and D, we have, let's consider the D as our second point and C is our first point. So the x coordinate of D is 3, and then you have minus 8, the x coordinate of your C. You take the square of it. As mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter which comes first, as long as if you start with the second coordinate here, you also start with the second coordinate for y, because if you're going to interchange one or the other, you will have incorrect result. So you have this item here. So you have the square root of, you have negative 5, or the square of negative 5, please enclose it in parentheses, plus, as well as here, negative 12 square. Then you will have here a result which is equal to 25 plus 144. So that means you have a result here, the square root of 169. And the result for this CD is equal to the square root of 169, which is 13 units. This is by the use of the distance formula.